Hi, babe. Before we get started today, if you are loving the podcast and you want to go deeper, you can now get full access to all of my exclusive content within the membership completely free for 7 whole days. Click the link in my bio and unlock the vault. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode 133. Are we on 33? Yes, we're on 33. I am so glad to be here with you today, and I hope you've not missed me too much. I have taken a little bit of a break, but don't worry, I am absolutely fine. You have sent me some lovely messages checking on me, making sure I'm all right because I've been a bit quiet, but it's been pretty intentional. I won't lie, I've been a bit uninspired, but it's because I'm in this phase of redeveloping some things in my business and changing the way that I move forward with Empire State. So I will still be here. I will still be doing the podcast 100%. I will still be teaching manifestation. It's just some adjustments to how I want to move it forward. So I'm just sort of in that little middle phase where I'm figuring it all out and listening to my intuition. But I hope that you are all well. How gorgeous has this weather been? Today's been like the first day where it's been a little bit cloudy. It's been fucking tropical, guys. I have been sat in front of the fan for days. Gloria has been hiding in the coolest parts of the house. She's taken to lying behind the front door, which is not ideal. Trying to cool down. I've had to dig out all my holiday clothes. I've been getting about Tesco in practically a sarong because it is roasting, but I am here for the actual summer. And it's so nice to have a bit of sunshine. So I hope that you've all been enjoying that. So today I have not made any notes for this podcast, so buckle up. We might be going this direction, that direction, forwards, backwards, sideways. But I just wanted to make sure that I posted something today because I did have quite a few messages off you all wondering where the fuck I had gone and if I was having another mentee bee, which I'm not. I'm absolutely fine. But I have spoken to quite a few people who at the moment are in a similar phase to where I feel like I am, where we're making decisions about what direction we're going. And that's not necessarily just with people in business. It's about people in the relationships, people in the jobs, people in where they're living. It seems to be coming up quite regularly for the people who are in my world, whether it be my listeners, my friends, people I know through my business. But we all seem to be experiencing this kind of phase of thinking something needs to change, but we're not quite sure what it is. And I just want to talk to you today about how it is okay to make decisions without consulting other people, without explaining to other people, without having to seek permission or logic. Because we all have a guidance system within us. We all have our intuition. And over time, as we get older, like as in from childhood to adulthood, we start to tune out of it because we're trained to follow logic all the time. We're always trained to follow this logic. Well, what makes sense? What's realistic? And I just really want to encourage you to come the fuck away from that and really listen to how you feel about something. If you feel like you are doing something right now, or you're in a relationship right now, or you're in a job right now, or you're in, you're going in a certain direction in your business and it doesn't feel right to you, you have this feeling of like, oh, it feels a bit off, I don't want to do that anymore. You have got the authority in your life to make a decision that you're not going to do that anymore. Like, you get to choose that. And what we do a lot of the time is we look to other people for their approval. We look to our parents, we look to our friends, we look to our bosses, and we ask them, what do you think? What would you do if it were me? Like, what would you do? Sorry, if it was you, what would you do? And they're not you. So they don't have your guidance system. Only you have got access to that. And when you are following logic all the time, you are blocking yourself off from so many magical paths appearing in front of you that you would never see if you didn't trust your intuition and follow that feeling rather than what everybody says or what makes logical sense. It's really important that you learn to trust your guidance system, like so important, because it's like a sat nav and it is trying to get you to your vision as quickly as possible. And when I say quickly, that is not always the easiest path. It's not always the smoothest path. There's often a lot of turbulence on the fastest path, but that's okay. Like, that is absolutely fine. And I heard somebody talking about it the other day saying, I can't remember who it was, it was probably somebody while I was watching TikTok at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning, like I often do. But this lady was talking about this analogy of how you sit in the discomfort, which is something that I talk about a lot. And she was saying, when you're on a plane, aside from the fact that you might be terrified of flying, let's just imagine that you're not. When you are on a plane, you sit there and it might be turbulent and you pick up your gin and tonic. Like, you know, you don't want to spill it, but you're still sipping it. You're still sat there. You're still bouncing around in the air. And you know that you're still going to get to your holiday destination safely because turbulence isn't dangerous. As much as it can be unpleasant and a little bit chaotic and it doesn't feel great in the moment, it's not dangerous. Like, planes do not crash because of turbulence. They never do, ever. As much as you might feel like that at the time, they are literally built to jump up and down in the air. And so are you. You are built to sit through discomfort, to sit through turbulence, to sit through mess, to sit through things falling apart and still get into your destination safely. That is exactly what it's like. So I really want you to think about that, like in your life right now. If you were in your vision, what would you no longer be doing in your life? What would you be releasing from your life? What would you no longer accept, even though it makes logical sense for you to continue doing that? And I did this like quite a long time ago. At the beginning, when I first started my business, I was doing coaching quite a lot. Like, I was doing a lot of coaching. So I was doing blocks of coaching. And I'm not saying that I'll never do that again, but at that point, I didn't want to do it. Well, that was where all of my income was coming from. Like, I was only getting paid from coaching. I don't even think I had a membership at that point. And I trusted my intuition and decided to stop doing that. And it worked out. It worked out perfectly. I ended up making more money in my business and being more fulfilled and more successful for making that decision because it was right for me at the time. When I was in a job that I enjoyed, you know, I really enjoyed my job, I did not have any income when I left school. I didn't know, I mean, like as a teacher, when I left school teaching, I didn't know where I was going next, but I knew intuitively that I had to leave that job. Logically, it made sense for me to stay a bit longer and save up. And, you know, I was offered all of these opportunities to stay for 3 days, to stay for 2 days, to stay even for 1 day, to stay until the end of summer. But I knew intuitively, despite everybody around me saying, oh, well, what are you going to do? Like, I knew it was going to work out because I trust that if I follow my guidance, I follow my intuition, it's going to take me to the right place. And sometimes that means that you have to, like, stop dead in your tracks and say, I'm not doing this anymore. And, you know, pivot in a different direction. If it doesn't feel good to you, stop doing it. That doesn't mean if it's, you know, podcasting feels good to me. I love podcasting. But sometimes it feels a bit difficult. That's not the same thing. That doesn't mean I don't want to do it anymore. It means it requires effort and it requires me to be a bit more organised and it requires me to be consistent. But it never feels bad to me. I never think, oh my God, I do not want to podcast anymore. Like, never. There's a difference between something being difficult or challenging, let's say challenging instead, and something just feeling not right, you know. I felt very comfortable in my teaching job. I felt so comfortable there. I loved all of the kids. I loved all of the staff. They were literally my best friends were there. I'd been there for 9 years. I was super comfortable. Logically, there was nothing wrong with that. Intuitively, I knew I had to leave. And that was the right decision for me. You know, we've all been in like relationships. I was definitely in one of these relationships where intuitively, you know, that's not your person. Like, it's not your person. You don't feel right with them. And we stay in these comfortable positions because we are always following our logic, and we're always looking to people outside of us to make the decisions for us, when actually all of the answers that you need are within you. You've got access to everything that you need to get you where you want to be. Is it uncomfortable? Yes, it fucking is. Is it turbulent? Is it messy? Is it chaotic? Yep, all of those things. Is it going to scare the shit out of you at points? Yes. Is it going to take you back to the bone where everything looks like it cannot turn around? Yes, absolutely. But as long as you understand that you are the operant power in your life and you get to decide, and your higher self is always guiding you through intuition, that version of you who you desire to be, the one with your desired life, is always sending you little nudges. You can follow that intuition and you can trust it wholeheartedly. And when you do that over and over again, that trust becomes stronger, and you can do it with bigger and bigger things. And it's really important that you listen to that. So what I want you to take away from today's episode, it's not going to be a long episode, this. I am just going to stay to the point and tell you what I need to, the message that's coming through, is that you don't need to ask anybody for permission to change direction, to change your life completely. There is nobody else who is better qualified to make a decision about your life than you. Nobody else. So, yes, your parents might tell you to do one thing, your family might, your husband might, your wife might, whoever it is, your best friends. And that's not because they don't want the best for you. It's because they are operating from their own limits. But you don't have to accept anybody else's limits. All of the limits that you place upon yourself are your choice. Just because somebody else tells you that something's not safe doesn't mean it's not safe for you. You get to decide. So I really want you to tune into that intuition and stop seeking validation from other people about the decisions that affect your life outside of you. You don't need to consult anyone. I'm not saying that it's not a good idea to seek advice from people, not at all. If somebody has got the life that you desire and they've achieved something in their life that you want for yourself, ask away. Ask them, how did they get there? What steps did they take? How can you move closer to that? What version of themselves did they embody to get there? And do that. But when it comes to making a decision, you already fucking know the answer, babe. You know the answer. All you need to do is put your hand on your heart and ask yourself that question. It's either going to be a fuck no or a fuck yes. And that's it. And if it's not clear, you need to wait and you need to listen carefully. That's all you need to do. You don't need to go and ring everybody you know and say, well, what would you do? And that's what we do. If we can't make a decision instantly, it's because we're not tuned into our intuition enough. So that doesn't mean go outside and ask everybody you know. It means be quiet, sit with it, wait, meditate on it, put your hand on your heart, journal, listen. Tune in to yourself and follow that guidance. Because everybody else's path is different to yours. Everybody else has got a different set of beliefs. Most of them will be limiting. And you don't want to take advice from somebody who doesn't believe in their self either. So often we feel really stuck in one place because we feel obliged to stay there because maybe we've invested our time into something. So that could be a relationship, it could be a job, it could be a degree. Like, I went to uni for 3 years to become a teacher. And I know lots of teachers who are still teachers now who don't want to be teachers, who feel like they should stay there because they've got a degree in teaching. You're not a fucking tree, babe. You are not stuck where you are. You can move at any time. You can change your identity. If you've been one thing on social media for 5 years, the day after you could be something else. That is completely your decision to make. You don't need everybody else's approval. You don't need to worry about losing all of your customers or your audience or your clients. It doesn't matter about that because you're always going to create new customers, new clients, new whatever it is if you're in a business. It doesn't matter. But when you are serving people in whatever way you're doing that, in a job, in business, even in a relationship, I suppose, and you're doing it when it feels out of integrity with who you've become, you're not going to be doing the best work that you could do. You're just not, because you're not going to be super enthusiastic about it. You're not going to be tuned into it. It's just not going to be the best for you and everybody else. It is okay to pivot in your life and to make a life-changing decision that takes you in a brand new direction. How many people in your life do you know that have spent years, just as an example, and this could apply to any area of life, but who have spent years ploughing in loads of their time to climb up a career ladder, and they're still fucking miserable in it? Or how many years has somebody put all of their effort into saving a shitty relationship and they are still fucking miserable? Sometimes you have to say, that's it, that's enough of that path, I'm going down this path now because it feels good to me, and you are allowed to do that without anybody else's approval. So my advice to you would be two things. First of all, stop consulting people about decisions that you are making in your life. Stop giving people the opportunity to put you off, to convince you round via logic, to limit you through their belief system. Stop doing that. Keep your gob shut. Make your decision quietly in the nicest way possible. The second thing I want you to practice doing is make that decision, and once you've made it, announce it if you feel the need to, if it affects anybody else, and don't explain why. You don't owe anybody an explanation for anything. If you let's say you get invited to a birthday party and you don't want to go, you can say, no, thank you, thanks for the invite, but I can't make it. You don't have to say, oh, well, I would come, but my dog's ex-husband's cousin has died and I've got to go to the funeral. Like, you don't need to make up reasons why. You don't have to explain to people why you've made a decision. It's nobody else's business but yours. So I really want you to practice standing in your power, connecting to your intuition, and making bold as fuck decisions about your life, because it's exactly that. It's your life. It's nobody else's. You don't need anybody else's input to make those decisions. You've got every answer you need right there inside you. Tap into it and see how much easier life is and how much more freely you can flow in this direction and that direction without it making it mean anything negative about you. That's what we do. We make things mean something about ourselves. We're not supposed to just do the same thing over and over again until we die. That's not what life is about. It's about experiences and following your highest excitement and moving in different directions and trying things out and saying, actually, I don't like that, I'm not doing it anymore. That's okay. Really tap into that this week and let me know how you get on. Thank you so much for listening. This is only a short podcast. If you have got any value from it, if you've enjoyed it, I would greatly appreciate a Apple Podcast review. It will help me hugely to grow this podcast, which, by the way, is going nowhere. It's going to get bigger and better. So I will see you next week. I hope you have a wonderful week and enjoy the sunshine.